Hello sweet beans, my name is Soleil and welcome back to the Little Reader's Corner. Today I am showing you my June bullet journal, which is a vintage sea theme. So here are some photos that I printed out ahead of time. Also, I had a very large book and movie wrap up because I wasn't able to do my May bullet journal plan with me because that was during my finals and it just became a little too much and a little too late for me to do it. So I have a lot of things to wrap up for this one. I also have my sticky club. I think it was the May vintage sea theme. I think it was called Under the Sea or Below the Sea. Very cute. I now have quite a few sticker packs that I can utilize for future spreads because I did a couple packs that were double, and since I missed a month, I now have quite a few extra, which is really exciting. So it also came with this little notepad, which I didn't end up using for the spread, and this little cute turtle stamp, which I also didn't end up using. So let's get started. So of course, first I cut out all of the little bits and pieces, and let me tell you, it took quite a while to cut out all of the different book and movie posters / book covers. So that was a bit, but I cut that out of the video because it took like at least 30 minutes in real time, and you don't need to see that. So I just have a little snippet of doing a couple of them. I'm always going to the movies quite a bit, especially compared to what other people would consider a normal amount. I love going to the movies. It's one of my favorite things to do. It just helps me feel kind of at peace. It's one of my most favorite activities. And I went a lot during May because it was a really stressful time, and then I was done with school and classes, and now we've kind of gotten to the other side of that hill with the pandemic movie screenings, so that you can really tell that things are ramping up again and a lot more movies are being released. So there are a lot of fun ones coming out this summer, which I am so excited about. A lot of things coming out in June, and a lot of TV premieres and new seasons coming out, especially of really huge TV shows. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's check in on the spread that I'm currently working on. So I feel like this one came together really naturally. I just looked up some vintage ocean, vintage sea pictures, and I always print out all of my items for my spreads on sticker paper, which you can see me peeling off. It's super easy to get, and it makes bullet journal things just so much easier because you can just peel it right off, especially because I ran out of my usual, I think it's called like sticky tape, my like tape wheel. I ran out of it halfway through making this spread, so it's very helpful to have it already in a sticking format. So yeah, I finished my first year of grad school in May, which still doesn't feel real to me. It's been like a month now since I finished, which also is strange. I'm still working full time and yet somehow it feels like I have a lot of free time, only working 40 hours a week. And it also feels like I'm still just as tired and just as busy because I really just come home and I lie down and I watch TV to kind of decompress and unwind. But you know, we're all doing our little bits. So I'm getting back into reading now because whenever it's in the school year, I do not have the capacity to read a lot of books in my free time because I do so much reading for school, and I usually have to read about 200 pages every single week for all of my classes, which is a lot, especially when it's on really heavy topics, as it usually is with international affairs master's degrees. So reading for pleasure just doesn't really come up for that. So I actually have like my own system of how I get myself back into reading, since it's kind of like being in a slump when I haven't read for a while because of school. So I always start off with reading a graphic novel, and then I'll kind of like slide my way into some contemporary romances because It's always usually set in our world. There aren't a lot of like magical rules or other systems that you have to know of, and the storylines aren't that complex. And then after some time, I can kind of slip more into like a high fantasy or a sci-fi book or something that has like a little bit more of an intricate storyline. There's more characters going on. So that's what I've been doing. I read a couple graphic novels. I've read a few contemporary romances. Now I'm about to start off my next read, which is Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think I'm about 60 pages into it right now. I started reading it at the pool the other day, which was really lovely. And it's a little bit of a slow start, but I think the plot of the book sounds really interesting. It's basically about the main character being stuck between two decisions, and then the story kind of branches off into two alternate timelines of if she made this decision, this is how it would have panned out, and so on. So I'm just kind of starting off at where the story diverges into these two timelines, which is fascinating. But it's a little bit of a slow start, so it's going to take a little bit to get into it. I also just finished Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. That was something I had started months ago when it initially came out, I think maybe in November of 2021, and I was enjoying it, but I just got stuck on one of the chapters, so I stopped reading it at the time, and now I just read it all in one sitting, which was kind of lovely. It's kind of the escape that I needed. So now we're moving on to my April and May movie and book wrap-up. I love doing this every month. I love setting out the different things that I watched or read the previous month and what I want to watch or read in the coming month. It's just so much fun to be able to fill out all of my ratings as I slowly go through movies. It's interesting to see what I think I'm going to go see in theaters or going to watch at home, or what I plan on reading and then what I actually end up reading or watching, because sometimes there is some consistency, sometimes there's not. And I did technically make this on June 1st, so I put it from April through to the 1st of June so that I can step up with that the next time. So you can see already that there are a lot. So I started off with a couple rewatches, which is You've Got Mail, The Mummy, 1917, and Princess Diaries. Then I saw Star Wars: A New Hope for the first time. I also rewatched Spider-Man: No Way Home. I saw Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Tick Tick Boom for the first time. I also saw Northman, Downton Abbey: A New Era, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Fantastic Beasts 3 in theaters. I will just say Fantastic Beasts 3 I only went to go see because I have an unlimited movie subscription. So I have unlimited movies and I don't pay per movie. And I wanted to see if it was as bad as I was anticipating, which it was terrible. And, you know, putting aside all of the terrible things that J.K. Rowling has said and the fact that they took out Johnny Depp from the movie, just, you know, putting all of that terribleness aside, the actual plot of the movie was also terrible. So, you know, it's great to see something like that completely fall apart. And I also watched Senior Year when I was feeling really down one day. Bad movie. And finally, I saw Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which also was not that great. Then in terms of TV, I rewatched Stranger Things Season 3. I rewatched all of Good Luck Charlie. I watched the final season of Grace and Frankie, the latest season of Working Moms. I watched all of The Dropout and Impeachment. I saw the first seasons of Raising Hope, Abbott Elementary, Only Murderers in the Building, Heartstopper, and Moonlight. Now let's look at all of my spreads. So I did cut out making the to watch and to read list because it just ended up taking so long. So I'll talk about all of these in an upcoming video. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed these close-ups of some of my spreads. Thanks, bye.